The water. Secretly always going to bang the gavel. That's the joke. Never have I really wanted to do that.
That would be my first order of business. And she's got 1 minute. Yeah.
No. Oh. I got an opener.
Yep, you have one of your.
I'm gonna set up my kitchen.
I was like, wait, there's one right there.
I got an opener.
Have that at 6:30. Yep. So. Let's call a meeting to order, May 11th, 2026. Let's
You should have seen.
say the pledge. Allegiance to the United States of America. And to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, and justice for all. Right. We see what on this?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm Rose Corporal. I'm the acting mayor
All right. Great. Now, Megan will be swearing in the new council members, and there's a head chair. I was on the council unopposed, so I will also need to be sworn in. Lydia needs to be sworn in as the mayor. She's not present, so what we'll be doing is calling a special meeting to have just for the purposes of swearing her in as mayor. Any questions about that?
Yeah.
Hey.
Audio isn't working, sorry.
Have you got it yet? Do
No, you can.
you want us to wait a minute?
Yes,
Let's
please.
wait.
Yeah, can you
Just
wait a
swear in.
minute? I just got a text message from Dee Wright and she said that she couldn't hear. That's on, so I want to
Sorry,
double check
Dee.
it. Yeah, well, she can't hear.
I know. Sorry, Dee. I'm glad she texted.
Yeah, me too. Hello, can someone confirm if you can hear us?
Raise your hand.
Yeah.
Do we have them muted?
Oh, thank you, Christina. Okay, I think we're back up. Sorry about that.
Sorry.
Do you want to briefly reiterate what? just
Yes.
happened?
What we just did was read the resolution with the election results for the place 3 position, which was Tony Valdez and Kat Mertz were running. Tony got 24 votes, Kat got 6, and the council made a motion and voted unanimously to place Tony as a newly elected council person.
Accept the canvas.
And accept these results as calculated by Hayes County. All right, and we're gonna swear in Tony. Can I go first? I was place 2. You're place 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're gonna do in order of the number of the place. We can't do beauty before age tonight.
It always wins out.
Yes, I, Rose McCorkle, do solemnly swear or affirm that I have not directly or indirectly paid, offered, or promised to pay, contributed, or promised to contribute any money or thing of value, or promised any public office or employment for the giving or withholding of a vote at the election at which I was elected or as a reward to secure my appointment or confirmation, whichever the case may be, so help me God.
Okay, put your right hand, please. Repeat after me. I, Rose McCorkle,
I, Rose McCorkle,
do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will faithfully execute the duties
that I will faithfully execute the duties
of the office of City Council Member, Place 2
of the office of City Council, member place 2
of the state of Texas,
of the state of Texas,
and will, to the best of my ability, preserve, protect, and defend
and to the best of my ability will preserve, protect, and defend
the Constitution and laws
the Constitution and laws
of the United States and of this state.
of the United States and this state,
So help me God.
so help me God.
And then we notarize it.
Yes.
Yes.
All right. Then I think he can.
You can still do this.
I think he can get his.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I, Tony Valdez, do solemnly swear that I have not directly or indirectly paid, offered, promised, paid, contributed, or promised to contribute any money or thing of value, or promised any public office or employment for the giving of, for this holding of the vote at the election at which I was elected as a reward, secure my employment, the confirmation, whichever the case may be, well, we got.
Are you ready to write the move? Repeat after me. I, Tony Valdez,
I, Tony Valdez,
do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear and affirm
that I will faithfully execute
faithfully execute
the duties of the office of
the duties of the office of
council member place 3
council member place 3
of the state of Texas,
in the state of Texas.
and will to the best of my ability
That is the best of my ability,
preserve, protect, and defend
preserve, protect, and defend
the Constitution and laws of the United States.
the law of
The Constitution and laws of the United States and of this state.
United States.
So help me God.
Yes.
I'll do a second. It's gonna take me a second photos.
Okay.
Yes. There it is. Thank you. Right there, we can see that. Pardon? My name is to say, oh. Time for the resolution.
The speaker keeps going in and out, so we're just gonna use the laptop speaker, so wanted
Okay.
to speak up.
All
so
right.
that everyone online can hear us.
Thank you.
Right here, you say that to the.
Yes, the speaker, or the speaker that's connected to our system is not working, so we're having to use only the computer speaker. So public comment and otherwise, let's try to speak up if I forget, please remind me. All right. Now, we have to do one more thing before public comment. We have to now elect another mayor pro tem. So
I would like to, make a motion and discuss. Appointing Elizabeth Vogel as mayor pro tem. She has done an excellent job, thus far in her. Service to the city as mayor pro tem, and I think that, we would benefit the city to have her continue in her position.
Any discussion? Any other discussion?
Okay, I second.
All right, all in favor? I abstain from this one. That's
Four.
Hannah, you too?
Oh, yes.
Four. Yeah,
Yes.
all right. Now, public comment. We have Harvey as our person in public comment. You can please limit to 3 minutes.
I'll do my best. Well, congratulations to everybody, the Rose and Tony and
Lydia.
yeah, Rose Spots. And with the addition of Hannah, I think the city council is really a great council. And everybody on the council is sharp, and I agree with all of you all, so congratulations. I want to tell you that, there's an election later this month, an important election. And the big election is for the county judge, which, is, the highest office in the county. And I am supporting Michelle Cohen. And well, there's several reasons. One is known Michelle for several years, so he's good and honest and sharp. When she ran, we're not in her precinct, but when she ran, she was overwhelmed victory over her Republican opponent. But also, the current county judge, put on the agenda this approving a variant for Milestone. And it was like the only item, it would give Milestone what they, the thing they really want, which is to have a dense development over there. And the county having very limited powers, but that we could power on the lot sizes for houses. And so I don't know why he did that. And it seemed like when I went to the commissioners court meeting, other commissioners weren't a little not scratch their head, but he had it on the agenda for several meetings. And so it's just like is he really on the side of Milestone and trying to give them what they want? At least the Republican commissioner did have a development agreement that they made some concessions in exchange for the variance. But the county doesn't have to give the variance, and that's what Milestone wants, is that variance. And, to me, that's really the reason to vote for Michelle Cohen. But in any regards, however you vote, get out and vote, because this important stuff, we gotta think for after.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, guys, next we need to look at the minutes and see, do we have any discussion? Does anyone want to make a motion? Oh, I didn't see your thing. Teresa, did you make a comment? Did you want to make a public comment? Okay. Thanks for grabbing that. Yeah, item 6B, the minutes. Y'all got a copy? Any?
They're over there.
Thank you. Anybody have any corrections that?
No.
Nobody? Someone like to make a motion? Do we have any discussion?
I would make a motion that we approve the minutes as offered for review and that we approve for you.
A second motion.
No more discussion?
Sorry.
No more discussion? All right. Let's take it to a vote. All in favor of accepting the minutes as written as. Motion passes. Good deal. Next is. The financial report. Christine is gonna offer that report to us, and then after she's done, we can.
Okay. So, the April 2026 financial report, a few observations from that report. Our funds in Broadway Bank and Tex Pool total $1,877,555. Expenses are larger than revenues by $20,206. You'll of course notice that is difference. Typically our revenues exceed our expenses, so that's been flipped around. Largely in part to this next observation, which is that we issued a large payment to Advanced Water Well Technologies for the repair of Elliott Ranch well number 2. That payment totaled $49,498. There was also a pretty sizable payment to Freeland Turk this month. They have a lot of projects that they're working on. So in April, they were paid out $9,458 to cover those large expenses and maintain a pretty healthy balance in the checking account. The mayor did authorize a transfer of $50,000 from Tex Pool to Broadway Bank. So Tex Pool, of course, is our high yield savings account. Typically in the Broadway Bank account, there's anywhere from $185,000 to $200,000 is what it's kept at. So to maintain that amount, $50,000 was transferred from Tex Pool. That's about it. Were there any questions about the financial report?
Anyone want to make a motion to accept the report?
I make that we accept the financial report for April.
Any more discussion? Do we have a second then?
I'll second.
Let's put it to vote. All in favor of accepting the report? All. Okay, thank you. Next is the receive, update, and review the 2025 water loss audit reports for the city of Hayes and Elliott Ranch. Again, Christine has been communicating with PGMS and has those comments on those reports.
Yes. So Lindsay Allen is the compliance officer of PGMS. She is who prepared these reports. The water loss audit report, it for us is due every 5 years, and that is because we have fewer than 3,300 connections. That was due by May 1st, so those reports were completed and submitted to the Texas Water Development Board prior to the deadline. For the city of Hayes, currently there are 89 service connections. We have more homes than that, but not all of them are hooked up to water service currently. For the year, the city of Hayes pumped 5,464, 386 gallons of water. There was a total loss of 603,186 gallons, which puts us at about an 11% loss. For Elliott Ranch, there are currently 214 service connections. Elliott Ranch pumped a total of 30,626,869 gallons. They had a total loss of 3,024,969 gallons, which comes out to about a 10% loss. When we were first reviewing these reports, that was jarring to read. 3 million gallons is almost, it's more than half of what our entire city uses. So I asked Lindsay about that, that it seemed like a really large number. She mentioned that the standard for the Texas Water Development Board is that anything under 15% loss is considered in compliance. So at 11% respectively for the city of Hayes and 10% for Elliott Ranch, the city's water systems are in compliance. I will say that there's still room for improvement, and that's why later when we talk about the grant, one of the things that the city hopes to pursue are those AMI readers, because that's a lot of water loss, especially when we're in a drought.
Oh, I have a question, but are you ready?
Yes, I think I'm ready for questions.
Why are we hearing water loss? How did it happen?
Yeah, what are they? That's
There's, all kinds of things. So in Elliott Ranch, a big thing that's occurring are irrigation leaks. We've seen that pretty regularly within the last year. For the city of Hayes, Hannah, you just had one at your house. Some of these pipes, especially on the city side, are old, so maybe looking at replacing some of that infrastructure would be good, but yeah, just leaks.
When I heard the amount, I had to see how much that was. It's 3 football fields, 50 yards wide, 10 feet deep of water loss. That's just Elliott Ranch. So to me, I had to conceptualize what that was. 10 feet deep, 50 feet wide, and 3 full football field leagues.
And that's in 1 year time?
That's 1 year.
That's, or was that over
Yeah.
the 5 years?
No, I think that's just 2025.
Wow, 1 year. So does that mean that there's likely more, because I think I've caught 3 leaks so far this year, and maybe y'all caught 1, so are they attributed to like 4 leaks, or is there likely more leaks that we're just not seeing?
Oh, there could be more leaks that we're not seeing, and then there could be more leaks that aren't, PGMS, things get reported directly to them, so there are absolutely leaks that they go out and repair that they're not necessarily reporting back to us on.
And people can have it on their side and maybe not ever even tell the city.
Yes.
That's
Which has happened at Elliott Ranch as well.
Would that not count? Because wouldn't that go into their meter laws?
Yes, it
Yes.
does.
Would it be in this?
Yes, it would be in that because it comes, that's based on our monitoring.
Too.
The waters. Okay.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah, so that any leakage on the house side would still be showing up because it's still running that meter, and that's what they're basing it on.
Mhm.
Harvey, do you have something?
Yeah, if there's clarifying questions we need to ask, I'm happy to get with Lindsay on it.
Well, I think there's a lot of water usage in repairing the wells at Elliott Ranch.
Yes.
And we had all that filtration. It's kind of like several nightmares over there. And here, in the well, our new well, they had to do tests on the water and how it works, and they just had to let it flow into the ground for a while to get the
Mhm.
right water to then send to have that water test. So
Mhm.
that accounts for
Or
a
something.
decent amount.
Yeah, thanks, that helps.
Yeah.
Do you have a question, Tony?
No, that's it.
All right,
I have one more question.
Mhm.
Does, so this has been reviewed with or by, PGMS?
They submit it on our behalf.
Okay.
Yes, their compliance officer prepares and submits the reports on our behalf.
And do they have any suggestions on ways that we can reduce this in the future? I mean, like, I just think about the fact that we are likely to be in stage 4 at the end of this year.
Right.
If we, rain is helpful, but it's not enough to fix a
No.
25-foot deficit in the aquifer.
It is
Do they
not.
have, I know the grant will help with some of this, but do they
Mhm.
have suggestions on other things we might do as a city to mitigate some of this loss?
Yeah, I mean, not that has been presented to me. I'm happy to ask that specifically. When I brought the concern forward, I think maybe since they're accustomed to preparing these reports, they were, anything under 15% to them was like, we're doing our job. It's not really that big of a deal because it's compliant
Yeah.
for the Texas Water Development Board standard.
right, and that, we get scored like on a basis of 100 based on the report,
Yeah,
and we scored within the acceptable range, but it also could be better.
Yeah, I mean, yes, I understand that we're like in compliance, but,
Right.
Right.
but any water loss in living in a drought state is like.
It's,
Yeah.
it's under.
Yeah, I agree, and that's why I think the AMI readers should be something that's they're at the top of the list of, for grant application.
Well, I think we need this, a water system piping to new, it's too old, and they're gonna break sooner or later. And we were, what, 1970 when the system was put in, 79, the system put in, so they're pretty old. So after a certain time, the joints and everything, they deteriorate and they leak, so we're due for rehab.
Yeah,
So updating piping infrastructure on the city side.
Right.
But
yeah, I mean, I guess we could discuss that under that agenda item, the grants tonight.
Yes.
Because I think that we do need to talk about, because the 3 leaks that I've caught have all been on the city side.
Right.
In those, in the right of way areas, and I think that maybe we need to look at.
We
Yeah,
can fix
we'll cover
that,
that in a minute.
yes.
we can fix that, and then we can address the other side.
All right, guys, does anyone, I don't think we need to make a motion here. This is
believe
just
so.
a report. No more questions about it? All right. Discuss and take appropriate action to form an RFQ scoring committee for the Texas Water Development Board Supply and Infrastructure Grant. This is a committee that I am wanting to be on since I'm in all the meetings about this, but we do need, it would be good to have another volunteer, if anyone is willing to volunteer.
I would like to be
Christine?
included.
I will.
Hannah, I think that would be a good committee. If y'all don't have a problem, the 3 people willing to step up are gonna get in there, because we've got, those have been posted per the law, posting for those, for the engineer and the grant company. And that posting will be over the 14th or 15th.
Yes, so they
I don't remember which
have to
day.
be posted twice, which those were submitted to the Hayes Free Press, and the solicitation period will close on the 14th.
14th, that's what I thought. Okay, so we'll have to see what comes in by the 14th and then follow the appropriate procedure. If we don't have enough applications, we'll have to consult with the attorney. We may have to repost it. Correct?
Correct.
So that's where we are.
Motion To
with
appoint
that
the
one.
committee.
Yes. Would someone do that? Make a motion to,
I'll make a motion that we appoint Ruth McCorkle and Christine Dunn and Hannah Bollig serve on the committee for the scoring committee for the Texas Water Development Board Water Supply and Infrastructure Grant.
if someone wants to, all in favor? Oh,
Okay.
hope you don't mind that she's writing away, so just feed that to her. Okay, item 6F, and I'm gonna read this verbatim. We're going to go into executive session pursuant to the Texas Government Code 551.071. We're going to consult with the attorney. The city council will adjourn to executive session concerning Hayes Common Commissioners Court that some people attended, and they're going to report on that. And the possible development agreement and variance request for Hayes Commons development, but no action is going to be taken in that executive committee. It's a discussion.
And are you calling the attorney?
Yes, the attorney
Yes.
will be on the phone in that session.
Thank
So
It's
we will be
7
back.
p.m. So we're
Yeah.
adjourning to executive session. I'm just gonna move this.
Hurry up, you get bored.
coming back on.
We're using the speakers on the laptop.
Yeah.
And do this, just bring us back to general session again.
You're at 19.
Did you note the time?
Yeah.
Okay. Our next item on the agenda was to consider and take appropriate action on the 2026 budget amendment, and we have decided that that is not necessary, so we're going to move along. We're eliminating that. Unless you have a comment. We're good?
I have no.
Rolling along then, that was considered, and before the meeting, we realized it wasn't necessary to do that. Consider and take appropriate action. This is on 6H. Take appropriate action to plan a community event at City Hall. And Candace, do you have any?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
So nobody would love to do that more than me. I would love to see those things happen. We've tried it in many different ways. We've done an ice cream social. We had an eclipse party. We tried to do a barbecue and got zero response. We put it out in these happenings and then hoping they could clip and put in the mailbox and, just begging for people to call and just say they're interested. And I don't know what more we could do really, but I think that especially with the last election where we had 30 voters, I feel like it'd be great to get, we need to get to know our neighbors and have people know what's going on. I know they do love, I know they tell me they like the Hayes happenings, but but you need to go beyond that, where we get to really know them. And even in the past years, we've gone door to door, sometimes campaigning for people, and had some great long conversations with people and felt like, oh, we really got to know them. And then, it was after that, it was really nothing, maybe a wave now and again, or, it's just so hard because people have their own lives and, it's just kind of hard to do this. So I don't know. You got an idea, Tony?
I think we just need to plan it bad and just advertise it out there and see what should
Have more notice.
more
for it,
notice or
maybe?
shows up and pick a day that's
Yeah.
it's a good weather,
Yes.
sunny and
And it's hard with
It's
the
hard.
dates because, we got to really research that because like when we had I don't know, like I know the Christmas barbecue thing that, you couldn't find a date because there was Beautifest or, we finally picked some middle of the weekday when, people that like December for people with kids, that is a
they go off
dull month. With so many, the kids are on concerts and programs and everything and,
How far
so-
along do we have to plan it? How far in advance?
I don't know. I guess if we would have to decide, if we're gonna do it. I will say this, when we moved here when we were in our mid-30s and then little children, for several years, there were ice cream socials and we would go to those and we knew a few, we already knew Tom and Teresa and a few of the people that they knew and we met people down on our end and, we knew a few people, but a lot of people went to that. It was really nice and,
Now you have an older crowd.
but you're right, it was filled with children. I can't tell you, every house had young children then in the 80s. So,
Yeah,
it's the baby boomers and our children.
When
And-
is, oh, sorry, I didn't mean that.
And they-
When is our next, happenings coming out? Is it this month or is it
I'll do
next
that.
month?
We're doing it every other month
Yeah,
now,
so
so
this
this is
month.
the time, and so I'll start working on it this week and we'll hopefully have it in the mailboxes next week.
It'll go out next week. Cause I think that, I just think that we have to accept that a lot of people are not gonna come
No.
and I think though we should continue to still do them
I
because
agree.
it's the frequency
Yeah.
and seeing that it's happening. That gets people to come, like if it's just
Yes.
super intermittent, you don't think about it, and so I think, we should commit to showing up.
Right,
And with time and with repeated exposure, people will come. And so I think that it needs to be presented in a faceted way to our maybe less than involved city people. So I think it needs to go into the Hayes happenings, but I also think that it needs to be like poster sized on the boards.
Right.
So not this paper, but like poster size, big,
We'll see it.
colorful, stands out, big font, stand out. And then I would also like to see, you know, we could take an old election sign, I can give you old election signs and paste over it and put them, you know, at the multiple spots in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
And it doesn't even need to be at the end of the road, like it could be the end of the road, but also like
Yeah.
put one on city property, put one on the well property, put one on the other well property. So it's like, no, it's not just on the corner, it's like in your face. You're gonna know whether or not you choose to come or not.
Right.
And so I think that needs to be like those need to be out on the street at least 2 weeks in advance. The flyers need to be at least a month in advance.
If I'm doing it differently, it needs to be more, because we gave like, you know, a couple of months notice on some of these things.
But when
and
it's
then we
just-
just signs out probably 2 to 3 weeks ahead of time.
Okay, the signs, like those could be 2 or 3 weeks, but the haze happening, like sometimes, I know for me personally, and this is the ADHD, is like I will read it and then I set it down and then it goes to the recycle and I have forgotten. So like those big signs.
I
But I
have
also have to my emails.
a question we're kind of talking over.
I was gonna ask, so what would
Did you-
you think, this is just a suggestion, what would you think about tying it into like the day that we have the trash cleanup and sort of tying in a neighborhood beautification, cleanup, help your neighbor? I mean, we all see
Good
things
idea.
that have been left and should have gone in the container in a positive way. And then maybe tie into it, some
Good
kind
idea.
of social activity, I don't know, that's just
I mean,
a good idea.
I like that idea. I think, you know, growing up, I grew up in a very small neighborhood that was very connected. And we would have a neighborhood cleanup day where we all went up and cleaned the public areas and then we would grill out together.
That's a very good idea.
Barbie, did you have a comment?
I think you have a good idea. I think, you know, we used to have the Christmas social. And they were pretty well attended.
They were for a while.
But, and the main thing, the city would buy the barbecue, barbecue was like, I forgot the people interested in coming. And then otherwise it was potluck and that, and we had to know how many people were coming for the barbecue.
Right.
But my suggestion would be to do a special mailing to every resident just about the social, because what you're trying to do is get people to say, yes, I'll come, and we know how many people have, but a special meeting might get their attention. I think people maybe don't read the whole newsletter or whatever, but that's my suggestion.
Thanks.
Makes sense for it.
Would you like to consider the idea of forming a 1 or 2 person, 2 people take over and see if you can come up with some ideas and get it running?
Yeah, I would love to do that. What I'm saying is we better do something different than we've done before, because we've tried so many different things and a number of different times.
I mean, honestly, I really like the idea of tying it to the
Yeah,
trash day, and I think that the fall trash day is ideal because it was kind of miserable out this last.
It was very
It
miserable.
was so muggy,
Umbrella.
mosquito-y.
Yeah.
But I think actually planning it in now, like start working on the ideas now for the fall one would be really ideal. And also that trash day needs to be not on a holiday weekend, please.
Yeah.
Cause I think that was part of the problem, with this trash day, which is off topic, but I like the actual idea and I would also be willing to. So.
Okay, great. So what are officially Candace and you and Hannah, does anyone want to make a motion that these?
I nominate them to be on it.
Anybody else?
State them by name.
You want to join
That's your
the?
motion.
So,
Did,
I have
and
to-
Tom did
do they
the,
have to make a motion?
I don't think so.
Is that what you're doing? Or is that what's happening?
Just, I think form a committee. Tom just volunteered to be on also. So Tom, Hannah, Candace.
Motion to,
Which, and then I just wanna make one comment on that, and so like with the 3 of us, which is totally fine. We just cannot be advising the mayor or anybody else outside of this committee
Right.
until we are in meeting, because otherwise we will be a walking forum.
Exactly.
So, don't go talking to Tony or Lydia or anything, just because there's 3 of us. Usually it's, you know, look, Christine and then 2 people or.
Right.
You know, and so that keeps it from being close to that
Right.
quorum level, but
No.
because we're gonna have 3, which is
Exactly.
fine. We wanna make sure that we don't have walking quorums happening. I think it's very important.
Right.
I strongly advise not to have 3 council.
That, yeah, that would just be better.
I mean, I can
Yeah.
get off it, it's fine. You two can be y'all can do this. It's
We
cool.
can get, maybe we can get a community member, that's always.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Why don't you do that? So which 2 of you are now volunteering?
Please do.
Tom and Candace.
Yeah.
And then y'all will personally recruit someone to sit on the committee with
Check
you?
around and see if we can, find somebody else.
I think that would be good.
Yeah.
So, do we need to take a vote on that?
Somebody here.
I'm not sure we do.
Take a walk.
I don't think we need to
I
take a
think I have
vote.
to vote on
All right, we're not gonna. All right, the next thing,
The documents,
Yes,
the meeting.
yes, you're documenting minutes, right?
no motion though, right?
No. Now, Christina's gonna give us updates on hydrant maintenance within the Buda.
I'm seeing, I don't believe we've taken up 7I.
We
or
didn't.
J, so
Uh,
7I.
well, we
I
just
believe, is
did,
where we're at.
okay, got it, thank you, I skipped down.
Mhm.
The street repairs on Live Oak Lane, that is the next item. And, this is not something that needs to be voted on, just giving a heads up. They. Wait, I have too many that I'm looking at, road maintenance,
Okay.
yes, we have both the road maintenance for Live Oak Lane and the handicap, the ADA parking here are gonna be bid, they're separate pay, but one bid. So we have engineers that are currently working on those plans, and we do not have a time that they will be complete, but we have to bid out the project. So the bidding is that correct?
Yeah,
Christine?
I would just like to add that. Mayor Brian Valdez executed a task order to get the design completed for Live Oak Lane as well as the driveway and ADA accessibility. Once those designs are complete, then we will be able to take them out to receive bids for the work.
Great. So just then update. The next was spring cleanup. It was miserable weather, we know that,
So
but
it's 7J.
7,
Update on.
the
May
spring
9th
cleaning.
Scheduled spring cleanup.
right. And, Candace, do you have anything to report?
I think we actually ended up with some stuff in the one that we were at. I don't know about the country lane one, how full it ended up, but it was definitely way lower than usual, and
Right.
and we know why. We know,
Because of the weekend.
well, possibly Mother's Day weekend, that could have been a big thing.
And rain.
And the rain. And no signs. We had no signs put out this
Right.
time. And the signs for everything we do are really, really important. So we might
Right.
know what do we need to get signs for, and things that we can carry over with no dates, but like. This Saturday, we put a week before.
Yeah, a week before, I think
And-
people
and-
need at least one weekend ahead of time to
Yeah.
mentally prepare.
Yeah,
So next Saturday.
That's our,
Yeah.
that's our live and learn, but I don't think anyone thought about Mother's Day. As,
Yeah, I
you
think
know,
that-
being,
Got it in the meeting, but we
But
The
kind of-
original date proposed,
yeah.
so we said May,
Mhm,
and the first Saturday of May was election day.
Yes.
right,
So we thought, oh, we don't wanna do election day, let's roll it to the next weekend without realizing that it was
Yes.
Mother's Day. weekend.
exactly.
Mhm.
So we live and learn.
I have a couple of comments I'd like to make about it. I think that we should, and this can be proposed in like the next meeting, but I do think that we should have set dates yearly. Like this date every year
Yeah.
is trash day. This fall date every year is trash day, and they don't move. They don't ever move
Yes.
because then people remember that. Like they might not always remember it. We still need to put the signs up. We still need to pick a non-holiday weekend.
Right.
But I think that it needs to be consistency, and I think that that's goes along with the social, it goes along with anything with the city.
Sure.
That when something is consistently on the same time every year, it's easier to plan these things versus like, that's gonna be coming up, but like, I don't know, and so I'm gonna start looking at other stuff. But if you know that like every year on June 1st, we are doing this, then it's easier to be like, hey, I know that I have to do this. for the kids.
Saturday,
Yes, yes.
That's-
Yeah, first Saturday of, but I think that we need to pick consistent dates and never move them, like, that's it.
I
I wanna
agree.
say May and December are extremely busy
Yeah.
months for everybody.
Right, graduations are happening, all that stuff, and so, and that was my second comment, was,
Yes.
I think we need to pick, better weather seasons, which is hard to do in Texas because you never know what's gonna happen.
Right.
But I would say earlier in the spring and earlier in the fall.
Right.
Before we start getting into
Before
October,
Thanksgiving.
before all of, even before Halloween, like maybe the first week of October, but then also like maybe earlier in April. Because graduation is
6 months.
We could-
We have the committee
Let
come.
yeah,
That's
since,
the committee come up with.
yeah, the same committee that, you guys that are doing that, can y'all come up with potential dates to offer at the next meeting so we can vote on it? Cause we'll have anything to vote
I
on.
mean, so if we did it, April can also be kind of rainy. If we wanted, like, end of March is usually pretty nice and it's not real
and
rainy.
then end of
then.
September, so
Let's-
it's 6
End of
months.
March.
Yeah, let's
September's pretty
let's
good.
present it
Yeah.
to us in the next session,
Yeah,
couple of dates for each event.
yeah, we think about it.
And then we can decide which one to pick.
Yeah, cause we need a fall date for sure. So if we could come up with that and bring it to the next meeting, that would be great. All right.
I would like to make a comment, if you are presenting dates, please try to select a few of them, because
Yes.
we also
Right.
do have to take them to
Yes.
PDS and ensure that they have
Yes.
availability in
Availability.
their schedules.
Exactly.
But I was think, that if we have some dates, then it'll be, like, and we know that they're gonna be, know that they can plan stuff, they can just know that we're gonna be, you know, in the future.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This
And get on their calendar.
And also tied to this, but also tied to an agenda item I'd like to add for next is a permanent calendar for the city that goes on the website that has his events and
Yeah.
it's always there, never moves.
All right. Next item on the agenda, receive updates about the fire hydrant maintenance that were conducted by the Buda Fire Department in both City Pays and Elliott Ranch.
Yes.
Christine.
Thank you. So we had fire hydrant inspection, maintenance, flushing, conducted by the Buda Fire Department, specifically ESD number 8. For the city of Hayes, speaking towards the city of Hayes first, all hydrants were flushed. They completed that, May 4th. The average flow measured 1,020 gallons per minute. The total water usage for the testing was 7,168 gallons. All hydrants in the city of Hayes are in compliance and adequate in the event of a fire. They did mention that the hydrants on Live Oak as well as McKinnon Loop were a little bit difficult to see, so they're going to be installing blue reflective markers to make them to increase visibility
Almost on that or
on the roadway.
Because, yeah, we used to have road.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be on the roadway, but we do need a stretch of dry weather. So they haven't done that yet because it's been quite rainy. So it needs to be nice and dry for a little bit for them to be able to get those glued on. Speaking to Elliott Ranch, all 22 hydrants were flushed and tested. That's 18 hydrants within their neighborhood gates and then 4 on Oak Grove Road. The average flow measured 1,000 gallons per minute. The total water usage for that testing was 11,241 gallons. All hydrants in Elliott Ranch are in compliance and adequate in the event of a fire. These inspections are recommended annually, so I have gone ahead and put it on the calendar for next May to go ahead and reach out to the Buda Fire Department again. And I just wanted to say thank you to the Buda Fire Department. They've been really wonderful in helping us get this completed.
Thanks for that report. The next is to receive uptake, pardon? No,
No questions or discussion?
receive updates and take appropriate action on the construction of well number 3 on Country Lane. And at this point, we're waiting for a pressure,
No, that's.
that's number 3.
Tony's
wrong
got
one.
that item.
Tony,
That's.
yeah, I'm going to tell you about the other well and the other thing.
Number 3, our consultant, what's the name? Freeland Turner turned in their punch list to CQ on the 4th of 21, and then we waited a response from TCQ saying that they're good, so we can turn on the well. That's it,
It's waiting on.
Just waiting again.
yeah.
We're hurrying up to wait. Now, M, receive update to take appropriate action regarding the grant for the new generators. That is 50% completed, and it's been submitted for budget modification extension to TDM, the Texas Division of Emergency Management, and we're still pending their approval. Again, it's in someone else's hands, and we're waiting for it to come back to us. So when that happens, it should move forward quickly when we get that permission back from the Texas Division of Emergency Management. Any questions about that? I know that one's been a long time coming. Questions? Okay. N7N, receive updates, take appropriate action regarding Hayes Commons development application to the Texas Commission on Environmental Quality to obtain permission to conduct and operate a wastewater treatment facility within the city of Hayes former ETJ. Hannah, did you have something you wanted to comment on that one?
Well, so it sounds like things are currently like changing, but basically, there is an intended schedule in July, around July 29th, that Mayor Brian Valdez is being prepped for by our attorney to testify for the city, and how that would impact us. However, as we heard, there is that could change if it's stalled or they're proposing changes to the TLAB, so they may or may not have to resubmit. So currently a lot of unknowns. There will be a hearing. We will be testifying, or our mayor will be testifying on behalf of the city. But other than that, it's still a waiting process to see what happens.
This next hearing, we've been informed that we will get notification in advance this time.
Yes.
That's good. Because that snuck up on us. All right. That no action needed, discussion.
Do you know of any negotiations going on between Milestone and the city of Austin?
I do not. I do not.
No, either. All right, any other discussion? Okay. Item O, receive updates and take appropriate action regarding Frontier's plan to install fiber cables within the city of Hayes. Christine, you have that one.
Yes, not too much of an update here. I have sent numerous emails to Frontier's representatives, and thus far we have not received a standard right-of-way permit agreement for our review. So the ball is in their court. You know, they were hoping to begin their project in the summer. They, of course, cannot do that without a right-of-way permit from us. So we are waiting to receive that from Frontier before they can proceed with any work. We, of course, have to have an agreement in place.
Right. Did you have a question?
Yeah, do you know who else they have laid fiber optic line?
They're currently working in Buda.
And do we know what type of agreement they made with the city of Buda?
I do not.
That'd be good to know that.
Yeah.
Let's make sure they don't get a better deal.
Yeah, because generally they'll try to pay as little for those easements as possible. So
Right.
that's what we should, that
We're
it should
not-
be researched.
We're not giving any easements, so.
Pardon?
We're not signing the word easements, we're just, they're just judges in the writer and getting a permit.
You're right. Okay. Any more questions about the Frontier cable? All right, item 7P, receive updates and take appropriate action on the Elliott Ranch well filter. That's why I tried to jump the gun on a minute ago. That has, and I have it written somewhere right here. The feasibility test, we're waiting for a pressure test then once we have that pressure test, the engineer will be able to come up and finalize the design. And then that should be done, hopefully by June, the design part, and certainly the work will start by the end of summer. Maybe even be complete by the end of summer, but we cannot make any promises. So as soon as we can get the pressure test done, then they will finish the design. I think in the pressure test, they have to have a field, they have to have a lot of stuff to make the filter work. So when they get that design, we'll be able to give them the go-ahead. And I'm sure they'll tell us how much it'll cost as well. Any questions about that? Right. Item Q, review and determine appropriate measures concerning the cost of living adjustments for our City of Hayes retirees. We have the one retiree. This came up last meeting and nothing has changed. We are still waiting for that, the formula, the math rate study to be done. And we are expecting that by the end of June. And then we'll have a figure to bring to the council to vote on. As soon as we have that figure, it will be on the agenda for a vote. Any questions about that? And at this time, that affects one retiree. So, all right. Item 7R, consider and take appropriate action regarding a possible interlocal agreement with Hayes County to enforce certain county rules within the City of Hayes. And Christine has that information from the Hayes County.
I do. So we have received a response from Michael Berlad, who is the Director of Development Services over at Hayes County. What they are suggesting to the city instead of an interlocal agreement is a memorandum of understanding, an MOU. And that would be overseen by the environmental enforcement of Hayes County, as well as the district attorney's office. There would still be a cost for it, but it would be a small monthly all-inclusive rate. We have not received a timeline, but what a MOU would cover under environmental enforcement would be illegal dumping, illegal outdoor burning, water pollution, public nuisances, and their public nuisance statutes are from the Texas Health and Safety Code. So those include refuse and trash, unsanitary conditions, high weeds, any sort of markets or garage sales that are considered fire hazards, hazardous or unsafe buildings, any easement obstructions, and water pollution. So
we'd be following their county rulings on those things?
correct,
Sure.
yes. So when we initially brought this to Hayes County, that was part of the feedback that we received is, are you looking to try to enforce your own code, or are you okay with it being Hayes County, basically? Because they don't have the capacity to enforce the City of Hayes code. That would have to be we would have to basically have our own code enforcement officer to do that. So we then tried to find overlap for the issues that we're experiencing within the city and overlap them with what Hayes County does have in enforcement over. And much of those have to do with environmental impacts, their environmental enforcement program that they have. A lot of the complaints that we received have to do with nuisances, have to do with, junk vehicles. We've had a lot of, illegal dumping, we pulled out an entire truckload of dumping out of the creek. So their legal team kind of reviewed our request and stated that this would be the best offer they have for us, essentially.
With the only item? Environmental?
Environmental.
It would be through their environmental enforcement. They also have on their website, Hayes County tx.gov/environmental-enforcement-program. I would recommend everyone review that because it has a good overview of what authority they have and what would be enforced.
Right.
So they don't have, codes concerning how many pets they should be having or?
Well, we have,
I mean, I know we have our code, but
right,
they have in their code.
and not through the environmental enforcement program, but we
No.
do have an interlocal agreement for animal control, so
Right.
that
I mean,
would
that's
be.
animal control
Mhm.
for wild animals but we don't, animal control is not code enforcement.
Right.
So we need to see
So-
if their code enforcement they have in their
Mhm.
city, in their, say, county. Are parts that we can use and have those applied along with environmental.
Well, I think, so if you have somebody that has too many animals and our code is fairly lenient, right?
It is
really
lenient.
On animals, that's definitely gonna be an environmental
issue.
situation. Where you just got all these animals on one lot,
Right.
It's definitely.
Yeah, I think if you look at the website, it helped me to go and read everything on there.
Yeah, I mean, that could fall within unsanitary conditions.
Right, yes, absolutely.
But I understand what you're saying. This absolutely is not going to make our city code completely enforceable.
Right.
But
Yeah.
this is, something to help us mitigate some of the complaints that have been brought forward.
Right.
And so if we were to enter into the MOU, they are promising that they would then prosecute, like people would call in, because it's it's based on complaints made, not
Yes.
just general enforcement
Right.
as has been widely misunderstood.
Yeah.
Right.
And so when it's called in, they are promising to actually write a ticket and then take it to a judge.
Right.
Would the city have an obligation to go make comment at a hearing on a ticket? Is there any other further obligation from the city? Because I've been getting into this with like animal control, they issue a ticket,
Right.
but then they're not like the judge won't talk to the person, like the other party in that, because it's between animal control and the person they issued the ticket to.
Right.
So animal control is actually the one that needs to testify on that. So like if the city is asking for enforcement on X matters, have they told you like, would the city have an obligation to go testify or do anything further, or they would handle the whole thing? That's
That's a good question.
That's a great question, and I would be happy to ask them. That we may also receive that answer when we receive a draft agreement. With more of the details ironed out in it. At that point, we'll also know a fee schedule.
okay.
It's my thought that it would probably function very similarly to animal control.
Right.
But that would be a great question to, if we don't get that answer when we receive a draft to review. To ask.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
I just wanted to, I don't know if I can do it, I wanted to share that I did speak to the superintendent, the head of office of animal control this past week, and I learned several things. One is that their officers can give you this information, which even though you write it down, and I think they're trying to do a good job. When you talk to the head person, you're given different information, and that can be confusing. But the superintendent did point out that I wasn't even talking about this, he brought it up, he said, well, one thing is that I needed to be aware that the county had no restrictions on number of animals on a lot, even though, for example, in our codes,
We do.
we do, and if that was, I think what he was trying to just say was like, get familiar with the county codes.
Right.
You know, so I
Right.
thought that was sort of, wow.
That's true.
Is it the case that this environmental department is kind of new? And that it was set up to kind of give the county more ability to take care of abusive situation in the county. And because when you listed all the things that they would do, that really sounds pretty comprehensive.
It is.
Yeah, I would recommend, like I said, that everyone check out, just their webpage, because it is pretty
it's-
comprehensive.
It's a lot more specifics on there
Yeah.
about what counts as an
But
environmental.
I'm not sure how long they've had the environmental enforcement with Hayes County specifically.
Yeah, because when I was the mayor, I had contacted. I forgot who I contacted. No, I did contact Walt Smith, and he called me and he said, well, I'm gonna send this over to the environmental department, but then kind of the county judge got into it, but eventually made it back there, so.
Well, they did used to have a whole
But
environmental
Because
office,
I think he mentioned that it was a new department.
right? And then because they disbanded the one they used to have a long time ago, and they told me that they turned it over to the sheriff's department, and that the deputy sheriffs would be, you know, sent out for complaints. And so when I kind of followed through with this complaint that I had made, this one person told me, you know, that's the last thing in the world the deputy sheriffs want to do is go to people's house and threaten to take their animals, or to, you know, give them these big tickets for it's their property. You know, people are very offended when they think people are telling them what to do with their property. And so they were like, you know what, those guys, nobody wants to do that. And I'm like, well, who's gonna do that? And they couldn't give me an answer. So, you know, they did have a very functioning environmental office for a long time, because I used them for a couple of my neighbors, and I would give them tickets, and they had 30 days to clean it up, and they wouldn't have to pay it, or if they didn't clean it up, they had to pay it. And I mean, everybody did take care of it. I'm not saying they didn't do the same thing again, you know, 6 months later, but you know.
I think they're over, because I had to deal with them for the warehouse, and that was 9 years ago. They were over septic systems too, they do a lot of work, and they were pretty, right, they were pretty new, because they kept telling us that, they were like, well, let us look into this and we'll find out what engineer is gonna. It was obviously.
Yeah. Well, if more discussion, if
I
not,
guess we're just waiting to see that.
we have to wait to see what the MOU is.
So I guess everybody should just review it before the next meeting.
And if
maybe
y'all
I'll
could-
have it by then.
Yeah, take the opportunity to look at their website
Yeah.
to get more specifics.
Both were inviting to this up, but I will. You know, we have kids racing up and down our streets on golf carts.
Yeah.
And this, to me, is not only is it extremely unsafe, but if there's some accident after we've seen this go on and on, I think the city would be vulnerable to a lawsuit, you know, there's really injuries and stuff, things like, you know, we as citizens, we can call the sheriffs, but I think something needs to be done, and I may stick my neck out, but I'm sure it upsets some people, but it's not good.
It does happen.
I think we
See
call the sheriff and just let the guy by when it's happening, and then make around the neighborhood. Once or twice a week, or once a week, and And as long as they see a sheriff's car, they're likely not to never know where they're gonna come in, it's fine. All right? If they get, if they catch them, then,
Yeah. Can't get a sheriff out here while they're doing it, though. It's not a real, I don't think consider it a real
Yeah,
emergency.
but we tell them to just drive by.
You never see a sheriff's car,
Yeah.
unless it's going to a specific.
Place.
Actually, on that. I guess I might suggest the city. Talk to our attorney about the situation and.
With that,
And cause
Good
then
idea.
he could send a letter, a nice little, hey, this is against the law and your kids and it's a danger. And start the process of hopefully getting them not to do it. But.
I'll find it out.
Yeah,
later.
yeah,
Later.
that on an item at the next meeting.
Yeah, stick to.
Yeah.
the
Let's do
items
that.
here.
Yeah.
All right,
It's getting a little.
the last item is the, receive an update from the HP 500 Grant Committee and take action regarding any appropriate action regarding possible grant applications to assist in the water projects. And I'll give that update. The reports that Christine early talked about, the water loss report, there are 4 reports that have to be submitted before we are eligible to apply for the grant. Water use survey done. Water loss survey done. Our user drought contingency done. There's now 1 report left called a water validation report. And it is also done by PGMS. And we have requested that they speed up that report because they have 90 days after May 1st to turn that in. And if it takes them 90 days, it will be past the grant deadline. So we are asking them to hurry that along and are waiting to hear back from them on how long they think it will take them to get that done. In the meantime, we're going ahead as though it's coming in on time because they haven't said they can't get it earlier.
It's,
The 30th of July is the grant deadline. And the water validation report is due 90 days after May 1st. So not until,
the end of August.
yeah, the end of August. But we're in communication with them and are working on that. We have the RFQ, I never know these initials.
RFP.
Those, they are posted. We are still getting, waiting till that deadline on the 14th to get those in. And as soon as we can, we are working as though that report will be in soon. We're not waiting for the report to work on the grant. We are
Doing it, yeah.
we're doing the work, expecting to get that report on time. Does that make sense? Any questions about that? No? Then adjourn.
It is 8:02 p.m.
Good job, Rose.
Yeah. we got it.